July 21st, mile 1278. Right there, the tip of the mountain right above the horizon there. That's Mount Lassen. We're on our way down into Belden right now. We're going to lose about 5,000 feet in the next little under 7 miles. It's going to be a knee breaker today. And yeah, so I've got a package at the Brattons in Belden. There I believe some trail angels there who kind of do a lot of trail angeling, I guess. You know, they hold people's packages, you can mail them there. And a lot of times mailing your package to a trail angel can be more convenient than straight to the post office, because there's no post office in this area. This is more like a little resort space. And I'm gonna go down and maybe grab some breakfast here when we get down there to the little resort, if all works out. Yeah, it's been pretty good since we left Sierra City. That wasn't such a bad climb out. It definitely was a lot of elevation gain, but the switchbacks are kind of like the saving grace of the whole ordeal. And hit the 1,200 mile mark and the 1234.5 mark, which is kind of cool, and the 2,000 kilometer mark, all in the last couple of days. It's a momentous week. And in the last 4 days, I've done over 100 miles, which is freaking crazy. We're averaging, I know I said in a few videos ago that we're going to do 24s. Well, as it turns out, we've been trying to do more like 26s. And yesterday was a 27. Or I'm sorry, the day before that was 27. So, trying to build up some time so that we can have some 0 days, like maybe in Mount Shasta or in Etna or something like that. Somewhere before we get to Ashland. And yeah, feeling the aches and pains from it, but honestly, still feeling a little better each day, just because we've been ramping it up, you know. There hasn't really been a lot of rest. Even in the last 0 town that we had, you know, we took a day off in South Lake Tahoe. But it was all logistics, you know, mailing home everything, and my ice axe and bear canister. And the pack feels so much lighter. Yeah, so much better. But, yeah, the herd's definitely thinning out. There's people dropping every day. It's, you know, it's great and it's sad. Although we're in the middle of a big bubble of hikers right now, coming out of Truckee and South Lake Tahoe and Sierra City. So it's actually felt a little crowded, kind of like the JMT was again. You know, you get to you're not guaranteed a spot at any tent sites that you come to or plan on going to, which is always a bummer. Whew. But yeah, we've got almost full moon right now. I think we're a day past. It's gorgeous sunrise. Let's see, what else is new? I've just been thinking a lot about how people dropping out of the trail, reasons why. You know, for reasons other than injury. You know, the first 200 miles are a big time to drop out, and the last stretch, you know, Northern California, the beginning of it is a big time to drop out because people get out of the Sierras. After that, you know, that was no joke, and they realize they're not even halfway yet. In fact, I'm still 2 days from the halfway point right now, and they're just like, man, this isn't exactly what I signed up for. It seems like, unlike 10 years ago when everyone here was, you know, grizzly, you know, outdoorsmen and women, and trail tested and true, you know, and pretty much all finished. Nowadays, it seems like, at least in a lot of the people that I've noticed and started with, it's a sense of escapism. You know, they're looking for something very different from their everyday lives, and maybe some form of, you know, romantic nature connection, which I'm always looking for too. But you know, they get out here without enough prep, and their expectations don't line up with reality, you know, and then they drop out pretty fast. So, I don't know, it's really interesting just kind of thinking about different people's motives for doing a trail like this, because, you know, just for anybody who hasn't done a long trail and is thinking about it, it's no joke. You know, this has been, and continues to be, one of the most difficult things I've ever done. Also one of the most rewarding, which is why I'm still doing it, but it's hard, man. I mean, just the fact that you might go at least a week between an actual shower, and that's like being motivated to go find a shower, you know, is enough to scare a lot of people away. But just all the little things. It's the little things that can really take you off trail, and it's the little things that make it all worthwhile. So it's a strange balance. Anyway, make sure you do your research and you really understand what you're getting yourself into, because it's a major commitment to try to do this entire trail or any of the big trails. And you know, it's just a shame when you see so many people who really want to do it in the beginning but just drop out, you know, a couple 100 miles in. And the party crowd seems to be gone too, or at least left behind. Tehachapi is like the last town where I really saw a lot of the party people, you know, who were here, it seems, just for the scene. And then they hitch in between the long, tough stretches. If I see them in Ashland, I swear to God. No, it's just, you know, I'm just trying to track the people, you know, people who are actually hiking. Age doesn't really seem to be much of an issue. There's a 16-year-old kid who's through hiking, and there's people in their late 60s through hiking. It's more just mentality, your kind of outlook. Sorry about that. Anyway, weather's been awesome. It's been pretty much blue skies every day. And oh yeah, also something came up. A question was if you're scared of heights. If you're scared of heights, do you still recommend doing the trail? Well, yes. But maybe, you know, realize that most of the trail looks like this. You know, this is pretty standard PCT footage here, you know. Pretty steep drop off on one side because, I mean, you're going up and down mountains every day. There's no day where it's really flat for more than 20 minutes. And that's kind of, you relish those moments because that's hard real estate to find. That's why it's really hard to find a tent site sometimes, because it's all pretty much like this. Super slopey. But yeah, so if you're afraid of heights, I would say just don't fall. Maybe try to adjust your fear for more similar to how I see things is I'm not so much afraid of heights as I am of falling. So then maybe you'll just be a little more careful and realize that for the most part you're on solid ground. Oh man. Yeah, even through the smog out there, which was pretty thick this morning, created some pretty colors with the moon up there. You could see the coastal range, I believe, in the Central Valley out there, which is pretty cool. Well, yeah, I guess we'll see what this music festival is all about. I don't plan on spending much time in Belden, just enough to get my resupply package. And I guess there's a big festival going on down there. So the lodge there is full anyway. Not that I was planning on staying. It's always kind of neat to see what's going on in these little places. It's culture shock, and you see a bunch of clean people, and people kind of stare at you for a second, but then usually realize, like, oh, you're probably hiking or something, and or you're poor, you know, which both are true. So I'll just kind of give it a go. But yeah, keep asking your questions, man. They're actually kind of a highlight. I'm starting to get better signal here in Northern California. You know, every few days I'll actually get 4G, believe it or not, you know, because you're within line of sight of a little town. The mountains aren't quite as harsh as they have been, and I'll try to answer them here on the videos, and keep going with it, keep you guys updated. All right, here from the trail, Ranger out.